I didn't want to run yesterday. I got out of bed about 6 o'clock in the morning, and the minute my feet hit the ground, I started creating 5,000 different excuses that I could turn into about 3 real valid reasons not to run. I just didn't feel like it. Just kind of like, I don't want to do this. Now, intellectually, everything in my head said, well, if you don't run your intermediate run today, you're not going to be able to run your long run on Sunday. And if you don't do that, you're going to get behind, and then what's the use? So I puttered around the kitchen, and I puttered around the living room, and I came down to my office and turned my PCs on and looked at some email. And after about a half hour, half-heartedly got dressed, stretched out, warmed up, kept hoping maybe like the skies would open with this tremendous deluge, and or the phone would ring and somebody'd need me immediately. No such luck. Well, if you'd have been inside my head, listening to my inner talk, it was more of an inner whine as I started to run. My hip hurt, my thigh hurt, my left shin hurt, my right big toe was throbbing. I was running too slow. I was running too fast. And I got into one of these, why am I doing this? Why do you get out here and run like this? You're 57 years old. What does it prove? There's other ways you can stay healthy. What about the elliptical? What about the stationary bike? About all those things. Clop, 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 clop down the street. Well, anytime you get involved in any sort of exercise, after a while, you just sort of zone out. And that's what happened. And I was listening to my music, and I was zoning out, and looked up and realized I was maybe 45, 50 yards from finishing the 2-mile run that I do intermediately. I've only been running since the middle of May, and I usually do a short run, 1.5 miles, an intermediate run, 2 to 2.5 miles, and then my third run of the week is anywhere from 3 to 3.5. The farthest I've gone is 3.7. And so this was my kind of intermediate run. I was going to go 2 miles. I look up. I am about 40, 50 yards from finishing my 2 miles. And I look down at my little wrist stopwatch, and I realize that I probably am going to run that 2 miles quicker than I've ever run. And as a matter of fact, as I get to the finish point and I click stop, I've taken 1 minute and 15 seconds off my quickest time for 2 miles. Now, let me advise you something that's still not real quick. A lot of you could probably run that twice in what it takes me to run it once. But I was really amazed. And the thing I was amazed at the most is that my attitude did a complete 180. Now, I'd like to sit here and tell you I went out and ran for all the right reasons. I didn't. I went out and ran so I wouldn't feel guilty the rest of yesterday, because I just had way too much to do. Because I figured if you don't go out and run, it's going to nag you all day long and you're going to feel guilty. So I did the right thing for all the wrong reasons. But lo and behold, through all my moaning and complaining and everything else, I actually ran better for that distance than I ever have. I gutted it out. I'd like to tell you there was this amazing inspirational story. My inner voice, the guiding light, the Holy Spirit, my guardian angel, you pick one, depended on your belief system, motivated me and pushed me onward. I hated absolutely every step and every foot of that run yesterday, but I gutted it out and I created a success. So much so that I came home and said, quit fiddle farting around, John. I registered for a 5K online that's going to be run in Louisville 2 weeks from today. I'm really excited about that. Kind of gives my runs leading up to it a little more purpose. Good news is, well, not good news, but I'm going to run it by myself. My son and my daughter-in-law, who normally run it, they're going to be on their honeymoon. And they're not getting back till the next day. So Joan and I are going to go to Louisville next 2 weeks from yesterday, and spend the night in the hotel, and I'm going to get up and run, and then we'll visit with our granddaughter, everything else. Okay, I'm digressing. Here's my point. Those of you who've been on Spark for a long time. Year, 2 years, 2.5 years. No, this gets tougher. I mean, I've been here going on 10 months, and it's getting tougher. Well, in the beginning, it was easy because it was new and it was different, and you tracked your calories and you saw weight loss, and you went out there and you did fitness exercises and gym classes and all this other neat stuff you never did before. But then it kind of becomes part of your routine, and it doesn't become fun. And the weight loss slows down a little bit, and you may kind of be stuck in between fitness goals, but you got it out. Because when you got it out often enough, all of a sudden, at the end of that blood, sweat, and tears, so to speak, there's a real victory. So, this morning I tip my hat to those of you who've stuck around here, who've worked the program, who've gutted it out, and who've done the things you need to do. Now, for those of us who are newbies or relative newbies, there's a real lesson to be learned here. It's not all the wonderful best blog awards and best spark motivator and all that other neat stuff. And it has its place. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing. It's a long haul. It's the rest of your life. And every day's not easy. And sometimes you got to gut it out. But I promise you, if you do, at the end of that experience, it's absolutely amazing and absolutely wonderful, because you have this feeling like you've never felt before, like I felt yesterday. Take care. I'll talk to you all tomorrow.